Hello and good afternoon to our University Taster Week here at Croydon University Centre. It's lovely to see some of you here with us today to come and hear about our teacher training courses that we offer at Croydon University Centre. I'm joined today by my fellow colleagues, Programme Leader Alia Milani, as well as Lead Tutor on the Teacher Training Programme, Camilla Wisniewski, whose surname I have just murdered, so apologies for that. So I'm just, first of all, I'm going to just do a little presentation with you guys, just to tell you more about Croydon University Centre, who we are and what we do, and then we'll follow that with a more bespoke session on exactly what the teacher training qualification is about and what you can expect from the course. So there we go, brilliant. My presentation is up and running, so I just like to say for myself, a warm welcome. I am Mimi Neasley-Taylor. I'm the Head of Higher Education at Croydon University Centre. So a lot of people ask why would you want to come and study at Croydon University Centre? And on the screen now I've highlighted just the 5 unique things that people have identified why they come to us and why they like to enjoy studying with us. First of all, we're accessible and we're set in the heart of Croydon. We're about a 5-minute stroll away from Croydon, East Croydon tram and railway links. We're literally a 5-minute stroll, and there's a lot of bus stations around us as well. We offer a wide variety of courses right on the doorstep. So I know you're here today to hear about the teacher training courses, but we offer loads of different higher education courses from degrees through to 1 to 2 part-time 2-year H&Cs, higher national certificates. Then affordability, especially in the current times, we offer some of the lowest tuition fees in and around London for university degree courses. We're very pleased that we were able to freeze our tuition fees at £6,000 for our undergraduate degree programme starting this September. Then all our programmes are quality assured by external agencies, including the University of Roehampton, Pearson's and City and Guild. So you not only get a low fees, but you get top quality tuition. And then something that's at the heart of everything we do is student support. We offer a wraparound student support programme for all our students, where you get assigned a personal academic tutor to follow you through your course with us. Apologies, my clicker was very slow today, so if I'm rambling and then not talking, there we go. I'm just waiting for the screen to load. So more about teaching and learning at Croydon University Centre. So on all our courses, we have very experienced lecturers and researchers who are able to bring you their knowledge and their understanding of the course into the different subject areas. We're also very lucky to have a lot of lecturers who's got industry experience, years of industry. Our business lecturers have either run their own business or they have been involved in a big or SME enterprise. And they bring that knowledge into the classroom, which just really helps to give that an all-round holistic approach to your teaching and learning. Then we also offer a mix of learning environments. We have a fantastic virtual online learning platform called Moodle. And obviously, because of the pandemic, we've been moved online. But from September, we'll be offering online and on-campus tuition. So we're looking to keep a little bit of that online element going, especially for our more mature learners who've got childcare responsibilities, to make it just the learning more accessible for them. And then, as I've just mentioned, our academic progress support that we provide is through our personal tutoring package, whereby we try to assign you the same academic personal tutor from your first year to follow you through your course as you progress through the levels. And we do really pride ourselves on inclusive teaching, open to people of all abilities, and we have much smaller cohorts, which is something that we are able to offer. When you go to a big university, you're sitting in a lecture theatre with 100+ students, and we're really tailored to that individual approach. And often our classes are only 5 in the classroom, so you really have a small cohort. I mean, it can vary depending on your course to much larger classes, but we do kind of hone in on the smaller classroom sizes. And then I've just mentioned there a range of assessment methods. You can look forward to different assessment methods. For the teacher training, I don't believe there's an exam, but there will be endpoint assessments. There's a lot of coursework involved in that. Then the other things that we offer at Croydon University Centre, you can look forward to student life, as we like to call it. We have a range of facilities. We're located on the 3rd floor of the Croydon College main campus, where we have dedicated classrooms. We have PC labs for our higher education students. You have access to 24/7 online library and also the virtual learning environment called Moodle. But not only that, we have our Learning Resource Centre, which is spread over 3 floors, and it's really a lovely, lovely space where you can come and do research in, where you can speak to a subject librarian, and it also has quiet study areas. Then it's not all about study. It's also about socialising with like-minded people and your peers and your fellow students on your groups. Inside the college campus, we have a lovely urban cafe, which delivers, you can either take away, you can sit down and eat there. Anything from vegan curries to pizza, and they of course sell fantastic coffee, which fuels all of us. And then what's really nice about if you want to socialise with your fellow students after your classes, we're within walking distance from Box Park. We also have just opposite the road from us is a range of cafes, coffee shops, bars, restaurants, the works. So it's really, adding that element of socialisation to your studies. Just quickly in a nutshell, all the courses we offer is there on the screen for you to look at. We offer our undergraduate degree courses, which are typically 3-year full-time degree courses. And these are all validated by the University of Roehampton. And then on the other side of the screen, you can see the higher national certificates and diplomas that we offer in construction and the built environment. We're delivering mechanical engineering, business and management, and then of course the teacher training level 5 diploma, which is what you've all come to hear about today. And then I just want to briefly touch on the student services. We have throughout this week various drop-in sessions where you can come and talk to our student services support teams who'll be able to help you with wellbeing and safeguarding advice. Those of you who have got a disability, learning difficulty or ongoing health condition, please come and talk to us because we're able to provide you with some support in that area. If you do have a learning difficulty, please don't worry. What we ask for students to do is just declare that learning difficulty, and you're able to meet with one of our dedicated learning support practitioners to set up a reasonable adjustment plan for you, just to help you along with your studies. Then with our drop-in sessions this week as well, we have a member of the finance team available that can talk you through student loan applications, advice and guidance, as well as payment plans. So they're always happy to discuss any questions you may have. So do come and drop in to any of our sessions. On the screen there, how to apply. I always say it's very, very important to understand what your end goal is. You're obviously here today because you're interested in teaching and a career in teaching, then you're in the right place. If you want to be a nurse, then, do go to our adult nursing info session. Come and ask us questions and find out if this is the right course for you, but also if this is the right place for you. Different people have different needs, and you might want to go to a massive big university. If you're looking for a more tailored, small, bespoke, unique experience, please, this is us. But please ask as many questions as you like to. Again, on the screen is how to apply for our degree courses via UCAS. And then that is all from me. I'm going to stop sharing. I don't know why I came up with public health and social care. So I would like to say a warm welcome to everybody here, the attendees and everybody. I was rambling through that presentation. I hope you've taken sound bites away from that. May I ask you to please pose any questions in the Q&A box, if you can see that at the bottom of your screen there somewhere, or depending on what device you're with, it's sometimes up at the top. I'm now going to hand over to Alia Milani and Camilla. Alia. Hello, and Alia is sitting in the college in a very messy office.
Sorry, I'm very sorry about that.
Lovely to have you here with us today, Alia, and thank you so much for your time to be able to come and talk to everybody in this room. I'm going to hand over to you now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mimi. Okay, welcome everyone to Level 5 Diploma in Education and Training, known as our DET qualification. I am the program leader, Alia Milani. I am the program leader of Business Law and Education and Training. And today we have a fun-filled activities for you through Taster Day. And I'm going to take you straight over to Camilla, who's going to take you through our course overview. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen with you and I will take you through a presentation in regards of Diploma in Education and Training. Let's hope you can see my screen. So my name is Kamila Bury-Wiśniewska. That's the tongue twister name. On the screen, you've got the details for Mimi, the head of higher education, and to Aliyah, who just introduced herself, and she's a program leader. And at the bottom, these are the details for me. I'm a lead lecturer in Diploma in Education and Training. I went through that program myself, so I know back to forth all of the ups and downs about it. And I will try to show you the main information and gives you a taste of how we're going to be learning and what you're going to be learning when you are on that training. So at the very beginning, I just want to quickly tell you what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be focusing on that short session, and then I will take you to some activities. We will talk about who is it for, what are the entry requirements, what is the structure of the course, what modules we will cover, what are the assessment methods, and what are going to be your responsibilities as a trainee teacher. Obviously, I will talk you through the success criteria because although it's at the bottom, this is the most important point of today's presentation. So in regards of who is it for, this is a course that allows you to work in a further education or higher education. It is not for the primary or secondary school teachers. You might be already working in further and higher education, but not necessarily have a teaching qualification. So for example, you might be a technician in the art studio, or you might be a technician in the engineering workshop, and you decided that you want to step up and go into teaching. These qualifications are definitely for you. If you want to, if you have your subject specialist, so for example, you might be a hairdresser and you decided one day that, yes, I want to expand it and share my knowledge with others. I want to become a teacher. I want to teach those who, the future hairdresser, how to become a great hairdresser, how to work with the customers and so on and so forth. That will be our course for you because we're looking into post-16 sector. If you want to inspire new young people, definitely these are qualifications for you. It's going to be a hard job, I'm not going to lie to you, but at the same time, it's very, very rewarding. If you want to work with adults, we're talking about access courses, we're talking about 16 to 18 courses, we're talking about even further adults. My oldest student this year, I think, is 64. So in that case, you know, it's a great joy and pleasure to work with the adults. You might not have experienced it in your life, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. You are much appreciated for your time and for what you're doing. As I mentioned before, it is definitely not suitable for those who want to be a teacher in a primary or secondary school. There is a great misconception about it. This qualification will not give you access to secondary school either. You will have to do, after this qualification, another recognizable status in order to work with this age 14 plus. So it still does not cover secondary school. And I will be highlighting that and stressing very often because, as I mentioned, if you want to become a primary teacher school, you're more suitable for the courses of the Roehampton College, our partner, or if you want to work in a primary school as a teaching assistant, for example, you are more likely to join our early education study course that we're delivering in Croydon University Centre in partnership with Roehampton University. So this is only for those who want to work in a further and higher education. So all of the mainstream colleges, sixth forms, study centers who are again focusing on the adults, or family centers who are delivering trainings for adults and people age 16 plus, youth centers who are also focusing on age 16 plus. In regards of requirements, the very first one, it has to be, and it's a must, English and Maths qualification on functional skills level 2 or GCSE grade C or above. The current grades has changed, so that will be grade 4 or above. And it is very important because no matter what's going to be your subject specialty, you need to provide a good English and Maths standard, because you will be required to embed the minimum core in your teaching, which is English, Maths and ICT. So in that case, you need to have a level 2 qualification on English and Maths. The second criteria is access to having 100 teaching hours, because throughout the whole duration of the course, you will have to complete 8 graded observation. We tend to split it into 50 hours in the first year and 50 hours into the second year. But at the same time, you must start your teaching hours after a month joining the course, because after that you will have to base some reflective accounts on your observation and on your practice up to this point. You should have a subject specialist. So again, as I mentioned before, if you want to be if you are a hairdresser, fully qualified hairdresser, and you want to become a teacher, how to teach a future hairdressers, this is a course for you. If you are having degree in art and design, recently this year is very popular, and you want to go and give back what you have learned, this is a course for you. So ideally, you should have a degree and qualification behind it, because, for example, if you have a degree in law and out of sudden you want to teach English and Maths, you will have to have at least English and Maths level 3. This is another important information, because there are so many candidates who wants to teach English and Maths based, for example, on the current situation that they were forced to do it with their children, and they've done it a fantastic job. However, in order to teach English and Maths in a further education, you must have level 3 qualification. And on that case, you will be able to base your diploma in education and training on that subject specialism. Alongside the 100 hours access and subject specialist, you should have a mentor. So the person who you can rely to, who will be able to help you, who will train you, for example, how to cope with certain situation. Yes, we will talk about it during the sessions. We will talk how to tackle undesirable behavior or challenging behavior, but at the same time, there might be someone who will be acting upon it and closer to you, and you can refer some issues or discuss some issue with your mentor. You definitely need to have a stamina, because 16 plus sector is very challenging, but at the same time, it keeps you on fit. You need to have a lot of energy. You need to be sort of up to date. Students would like to have a banter with you. This is not the professionalism we're talking about, but at the same time, you will need to know how to keep the balance, and at the same time, keep that energy level as they are. Sit-in Guilds is the awarding body. So if you will be successful in completion, you will receive a diploma in educational training certificates from the city and guilds. As Mimi mentioned before, this is a 2-year course that is spread. It's a part-time course. It's spread onto the 2 years. In the first year, we're focusing on the level 2 qualification, and in the second year, we are focusing on the modules from level 5. In terms of delivering, that right now we're doing 1 day a week. It's either Tuesday or Thursday, because we have 2 different cohorts. The attendance is compulsory. It will be, as Mimi said, perhaps a blended learning and mixture of being on campus and online. At the moment, I've got 1 cohort that I'm delivering online due to different circumstances of the learners, and 1 cohort that I'm delivering on site. So again, it's negotiable, but at the same time, no matter which option we're going to choose, the attendance is compulsory. You will have only 3 hours with me, and trust me, it is not enough. And then you will be required to do independent learning approximately 10 hours a week. And that will be down to you, how you're going to organize your time, whether you're going to have a day off, whether you're going to have a study day. We are not involved on that. The only part we can definitely reassure and deliver is the 3 hours with the lecturer, which is me at the moment. Again, at the end of the completion, you will receive 120 credits. And right now I'm going to show you the modules. Teaching, learning and assessment, it is a very basic module, and we structure the course so you will have a solid foundation and you will build up achieving upon the rest of the units. We try to link them together. That's why we've decided to do on the first year level 4. So you will have in-depth understanding of teaching, learning and assessment, on teaching in your specialist area, as well as the specialist techniques and activities that you can use in your specialist area. And then we're going deeper into the theories, principles and modules of education and training, when you will have a heavy module of the theory, but at the same time you will be able to embed it into your practice as well. Further on, we're going into developing teaching, learning and assessment. So when you've done the base, you are putting higher levels of understanding and you're applying your skills later on. At the end, our last unit is the wider professional practice and development in education and training, purely because this is the unit when we're preparing you to go into the society to become a fully qualified teacher. And on that unit, we focus specifically on a team working, on the specific requirements of the internal organization, structure of organization, as well as your professional development as a teacher. There are several ways how we're going to be assessing you through the qualification. The main one is obviously observation. As I mentioned, you will have 8 throughout the whole duration of the course, but it has a bit of asterisk because that one requires some more explanation in depth. There will be written assignment for every single unit. There is also portfolio of evidence. You will have 2 portfolios, 1 per each academic year, so 1 for level 4, 1 for level 5. And again, I will explain that in a second. And micro teaching is one of the methods that we're going to be assessing you. So you will deliver a small snapshot of the lesson for the group. Presentation, you will have to provide a presentation about specific topic. Quite often is a communication and the theories of a communication in front of the group, and you will receive a feedback from the group. And in regards of observation, we will check your current learning and authenticity of your knowledge, as well as how you're developing skills for the work and life, how you prepare also learners to develop their skills for work and life, how you're removing barriers for learning, if you're promoting inclusive practice. Is it an active learning, or is it the worksheet and get on with your work? Is it challenging? Is it differentiating? Is it only, again, another worksheet that is provided for the whole group? Or maybe there are several worksheets, because it's not a bad thing to work with the worksheets. However, you need to remember that students are in the center of all of the process. So in that case, it has to be differentiated. How you using digital and emerging technology in your learning, how you're supporting teaching English and maths, and how you're embedding that, as I mentioned, that into as a minimum core, how the assessment for learning is taking place. So do the learning taking place, how you're going to assess this, and how current your qualification are according to your vocation. So again, if you have achieved some sort of qualification from your subject specialist 20 odd years ago, this is nothing wrong with that, but how current you are, how the changes, how the requirements in your setting, in your field have changed and evolved, and if you are up to date with that. And obviously we will check the quality assurance and improvement on your work throughout 2 years. In regards of portfolio of evidence, we will focus on, you will put that inside your GAIN qualification. So alongside the course, you might doing a short courses that will provide some certificates, like a safeguarding, like drug awareness courses. And on that case, it will go and build up you into portfolio because it shows your progression as a practitioner as well. You will receive a feedback from every observation, and that will go into your portfolio as well. Reflection, you will be forced, and I am fully aware of the word, you will be forced to reflect on every single lesson you deliver, because without reflection, you won't moving forward. You will be standing on the same place, and trust me, there is always room for improvement. You will have a meeting with your mentors, and since you got the mentor, you will have to provide some sort of proof that you're actually working with your mentor towards improving your own practice. You will have also meeting with your tutor. At this stage, I'm acting as a personal tutor for all of the people who are on the course of Diploma in Education and Training. So in that case, all of the documentation will be provided by me. You will have to provide a group profile for the learners that you are teaching, alongside with a scheme of work. So with a plan, what you're aiming to teach, what will be the outcome of teaching, what is the assessment method, and so on and so forth. And of course, it cannot be done at the very beginning, because you will evolve in your practice, and we will learn about how to do a scheme of work for yourself, how to do the group profile, how to create a group profile, what is the purpose, and so on and so forth. For every single lesson that you will be teaching, you will have to provide the lesson plan, and you have to log it in. So if we're talking about 50 hours of teaching for the first year, for every single hour that you are delivering, it has to be provided a lesson plan. Otherwise, it cannot count as your practice. So it has to be, the logged hours and the lesson plans, it has to be like a mirror reflection. If the time and date are not matched together, we cannot claim that hour. We cannot, again, check the quality of your learning and check the quality of your practice if it's wrongly logged. You will have to provide selection of resources, the one that you are using in a class, or perhaps the one that you have developed for the purpose of delivering the lesson. Alongside of that, you will have to record the progress of the learners. If you won't have a specific documentation to show that from September till, for example, February, students achieve or made some sort of progress, how on earth we will know if that learning took place? And again, obviously, throughout the duration of the course, we will help you to build up confidence, how to do it, what to do it, how to record it, and so on and so forth. And although it's at the end, feedback from the learners, it will be one of the powerful tools who help you to build the confidence, but at the same time, show you whether you are a good practitioner or not. And again, we're going to talk about the power of feedback, how to make a feedback, how to give and receive a feedback as well. In regards of your responsibility, you will definitely be responsible for planning, preparing, and delivering and evaluating the lessons. So in a minute, when we will go to a practical side of it, I will explain it to you a bit further. However, it brings back the point of a lesson plan. You will have to provide a lesson plan, and if you don't have a lesson plan, we cannot claim the hour. The less lesson is done in the first academic year, the more lessons you will have to do on the second academic year. And as it was mentioned before, 100 of teaching hours is a bare minimum. If you do more, that's absolutely fine. The more, the better, as soon as you're improving. However, 100 is the bare minimum that you have to do it. The lessons and delivering has to be current, has to be relevant to your subject specialism and to what you want learners to learn and achieve. It has to be inspiring. It has to be engaging, you know. As I said, stamina is extremely important in that sector because, trust me, young people will keep you on fit. And it has to be inclusive because, you know, I dare to say that Croydon University Centre and Croydon in general as an area is very inclusive and very diverse. So there is no room of discrimination. There is no room of separating someone or isolating someone. We all different. We're coming from a different background. I'm a former ESO student of our Croydon College. I went through that program. I'm happy to share my experience, but at the same time, I know that people might struggle with English. They might struggle with understanding of learning and so on and so forth. Again, although it's at the bottom, that doesn't mean it's the least important. As a matter of fact, this is the most important. You will be responsible for achieving full potential of all of your learners. So you will be taking a full responsibility and autonomy of the way how you deliver the lesson, how you plan the lesson, and what you do to allow them to progress further. Of course, you will have a mentor to help you as well. Success criteria is definitely attendance. As I mentioned to you, 3 hours with me, trust me, it won't be enough. On-time submission is another one because the sooner we receive your submission of the assignment, the sooner we will be able to provide you a feedback. Academic skills, you will masterpiece that throughout the 2 years, and obviously we are able to help you. We've got a workshop going on, so in that case, if you are a bit worried or concerned about it, do not worry. We've got the fantastic librarians who help us to prepare our students in order to gain the academic skills and academic writing. Organizational skills, again, is very important because if you will be teaching, if you will be learning, I bet you will have other responsibilities from outside of the college. It will be quite a lot. It might reach to the point of make it or break it. I know what I'm talking about because, again, I remember how tough it was on me. I can only imagine how tough it could be for you on the current situation, but at the same time, it's well worth it. You need to be competent in your vocational area. So we're coming back again to that subject specialist. You need to be up to date of what is going on. So for example, if you're planning to teach business and you achieve again 3 years ago your qualification, that's absolutely fine. But at the same time, you need to be up to date. What are the current requirements and specification of the business management strategies and so on and so forth? Because we as a society evolve, we need to keep up with what is going on. Knowledge of your work placement and work practice, it will be extremely important because if you don't know where to signpost the students who comes to you with a problem, then you will end up with dealing with that problem by yourself and you will be workloaded. So in that case, we also will help you how to release the workload and how to look after your mental well-being as well. You will certainly develop the ICT skills and use of assistive technology because in your work placements or in your areas, you might be using a totally different system that we are using. You know, I'm working with the 3 different departments and from each department, pretty much I'm using a different system and a different way of how to use the assistive technology. So these are the skills that we will be able to assist you at certain point as well, but at the same time, you will see how much you will rely on it. You will have to collaborate with your colleagues. You will have to collaborate with your mentor. You will have to collaborate with those with the co-students because sharing is caring. And trust me, later on, you will see the impact of and the power to be as a part of the group. Myself and Alia, we were in the cohort of Diploma in Education training together. And look at us. Alia is a program leader. I'm the lead lecturer. But we had a great support of our group, of the group of people who were with us, who stuck at the same point, because it's not going to be a fairyland. It's going to be a tough work, but it will be extremely rewarding. Professionalism is something that we're going to be, again, preparing you throughout the 2 years, and we will do that against the criteria from Education and Foundation Training Society. You need to be ready for challenge, because you will have many challenges and you will meet many obstacles on your way. Every day in education is not the same. If you're teaching 16 to 18, it's going to be totally different than when you're teaching adults. When you're teaching adults, you will meet different obstacles that when you're facing, for example, teaching ESOL students. So those who English is a second language. These are the professional standards, as I mentioned to you. I will not go through that very deep right now. I can see some question. I will answer some question in a second. And these are the standards that are set up by Education and Training Foundation. There are 20 standards, and again, you will work towards improving the standards within 2 years. Okay, I will say we're going to have a slightly break. I can see some questions. I'm going to answer some questions, and then we're going to go to practical part of it. If you have any questions, you will need access to hundreds of teaching hours. You'll need mentor who will support you. A guide, the mentor needs to be someone other than your lecturer. Yes, definitely, because I cannot be your mentor. I'm more than happy to help you throughout the whole duration of the whole through the course, and I take a great pleasure of helping my students where to seek help, how to do this, how to do that, and everything. But at the same time, it will be a great conflict of interest if I will be your mentor. So I cannot be your mentor. It will have to be another lecturer. Okay. I cannot see exactly how many participants are there, but I will take you through the teaching and learning cycle. So this is the cycle that we follow throughout the duration of the course, and you will learn that majority of the strategy we promote is within a circle, because it could start pretty much at every single point. However, we often start from identification of the needs. If you know how to identify the needs of the learners, if you spot the needs of the learners, then you will be able to plan for the inclusive practice, and you will be designing your learning in order to meet the learner's needs. Remember, I told you, students are always in the center of all of the actions. When you plan and design your activity, you will be delivering and facilitating the activities according to your plan. So the more you know about your students, the better the planning. The better the planning, the better the delivery. And then that brings us into the assessment. In regards of the assessment, you will use the formative assessment. That means that it's an ongoing assessment through different methods, through the observation, through questioning and answering, through quizzes, through many, many more, through activities, through treasure hunting activities, and so on and so forth. But you have to know your students. Based on all of these elements, you will come into the evaluation. This is the moment when I told you you're going to be forced to reflect on it. So you will think about it. What went well? Even better if, what I can improve. And that again, pretty much will bring you into the needs of your learners. If you think about it, as I said to you before, it could be that the cycle could start at any point. Yes, we tend to start from identification of needs, but imagine a situation that you are coming into the setting, for example, sixth form college, you are shadowing a person for a day, but it turns out that the lecturer that you're shadowing, the teacher that you're shadowing is delivering assessment throughout the whole session. So in that case, you're looking into the assessment method. What type of assessment it was? Was it formative? Was it was it a summative assessment? Was it an ipsative assessment? You know, these are the greatest details that you will learn about it. And then you can evaluate, maybe I will do it slightly different. If it's a formative assessment, maybe I will use a slightly different method. And then you need to think about what type of learners you're going to be dealing with. When you've got all of these elements, you're again going back to planning. Based on your planning, you will start delivering your method. You will assess if learning took place, and it's go back to the normal. What went well? If something is working really well, obviously you will make sure that you're using in your practice over and over again with some modification, because remember, the group might be at the same level, but they will be a totally different dynamic of the group. I've got 2 groups on Mondays. Both of them, they are at the same level. Both of them, they call ABLE. So this is a course for ESOL learners. However, one group is much stronger, one group is much weaker. What is more, the much weaker group, the attendance is much better and they are engaging much better, whereas the stronger one, the attendance is not so good because they are having many outside of the college issues. On that case, you know, you will have to build up certain skills, how to help the learners to be engaged, how to help learners to attend the lessons, what sort of barriers you will have to remove in order to make sure that everyone has equal access of opportunity. As a teacher, to prepare you for the role that hopefully you will decide to carry on, this is how you will look like. You will be a teacher wearing perhaps only one hat, but on the top of it, you will be their parents, you will be their relatives, you will be their mentor, you will be their coach, you will be their safeguarding officer, you will be any other person that you might think about it. You might be their zookeeper, you know, they might come and you might be the only person that they will talk about their lizards. I've got that. You will be their therapist. They might come up with some sort of issues that might not necessarily be opening for someone else. At this stage, I'm teaching maths, so I'm not a direct tutor for any of my vocational students group. However, the amount of issues I'm dealing with is not because I'm the tutor, is because quite often they come in and say, well, my tutor don't have a time for me. Yeah. So on that case, the personality, the stamina, sometimes you will take it quite a lot and you will have to wear a different sort of hat. It's not going to be only a one role that you're teaching and that's it. You will be the assessor, you will be the mentor, you will be the supporter, you will be pretty much whoever it will be the demand. I have a message that you cannot hear anything.
We can hear you. Camilla, we can hear you. I think it's just one of the attendees that can't hear.
It's okay. She's going to exit and then she'll come back. Okay.
I think we've now lost Camilla.
Yeah, we have.
How about now?
That's fine. Thank you.
Lovely. Okay. So as I said, you know, sometimes you will look like that and sometimes the workload will be quite a lot to take. But at the same time, you will have a mentor. You will have me as your tutor. You will have Aliyah as a program leader. You will definitely have Mimi as a head of the HE. You will have a support department to help you how to deal. I know that some people have a childcare issue because they have outside roles assigned to their life. So in that case, we will try to help you and support you as much as we can. We won't do everything for you. Let me tell you that. I'm the type of teacher that I'm not a spoon feeder one. Yeah, I will give you some sort of resources. I will introduce you into some sort of tools, but at the same time, I cannot teach you how to use it. I can show you how to use it. I can demonstrate it, but it will be down to you whether you are taking that knowledge on board or not. So it's simple as that. I can bring you into the water, but I cannot force you into to drink for it. Yeah. And I always say to my students, 16 to 18, 18 plus, 19 plus, whatever the age is, you always have a choice. If you choose to come into that course, you choose all of the roles and responsibility that is assigned to that role as a teacher. If you choose to come to that role, you are choosing to be dedicated. If you choose to come into that course, you are choosing to become a better in what you as a teacher. Okay, so that's in regards of the student who cannot hear me. Now, this is the teacher. However, you as a student will be required to also wear different type of hats. This is the Edward de Bono strategy of 6 thinking hats. This is the great representation of my demands towards you, but also our demands as a college towards you as a student, as a representative of our Croydon University Centre. Because remember, no matter where your practice is going to be, you're also representing our college. So during the sessions, we might say, okay, right now, I want you to put a green hat. Where is the creativity? Be creative, do this, do that. Complete the project, design a poster, and so on and so forth. However, I must say to you, I want you to put a black hat, be critique, be negative about something, find a negative way how to, for specific strategy, because it will be fabulous if everything is nice and lovely and positive. But sometimes we need to be critique. We need to see the downside in order to keep the balance. Because if we will have everything positive, you know, in ideal world, we will have every single lesson without any behavioral issue, with all of the learners ready to learn. Life would be beautiful, but at the same time, our job will be boring. Let me tell you that. Sometimes we will see the benefits. We will wear the yellow hats when we will see the benefits of certain methods, but at the same time, we would like to swap to the black hat when you will have to be very precautious about certain methods, or very precautious of using specific resources, for example. At the same time, for every lesson, you should be wearing a white hat when you will have some facts received either from me or you will gain it through your independent learnings. Sometimes I will ask you, put your red hat, tell me how you felt. If the lesson you will say, oh my goodness, Camila, do you know what? That was the worst lesson ever. Everything was all over the place. It was happening this and that and everything. I will ask you, how would you feel? Put the red hat and tell me, how did you feel? How the learners felt. So on that case, we also try to build a picture how they will feel, because maybe there was a little thing that triggered the behavior. We're not saying you're wrong. No one is perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm aiming towards perfection. I'm perfectionist, but I'm not perfect. Okay. But at the same time, I want to show you that as a student, you will be required to wear a different hats. Blue hat is definitely something that you will have to bring to every single lesson, because with the information that you will receive, it's going to be a heck a lot. You will have a time to process that. You will have to embed that into your learning. So when we're going to dedicate our session into embedding minimum core, which is English, maths, and ICT in your teaching, you will have to wear a blue hat. In particular, when I will go to observe you, definitely blue hat is staying on. On the top of it, you might have a different hat, but at the same time, this is the strategy that is recognized from the very early years of education. This is very common strategy. The Bono 6 thinking hat is very popular in the primary schools, but at the same time, it has a great recognition throughout the educational system. And you as a student will be required to also wear a different hat. So this is how I will look, but you will also have some hats. Later on, this is how you're gonna look, but at the same time, you will ask your learners to also use a different hats. It's not going to be a fashion show. who have the best hat, but at the same time, sometimes you will swap the hats with your peer learners, with your peer student, to make sure that learning takes place. Sometimes I will put some controversial topic that we all have a totally different opinions, but at the same time, we're going to learn how to promote fundamental British value, which one of it is mutual respect and tolerance. I'm just going to pause it. We're starting activity pretty much now. I just have a message. So this is something I would like you to do. If you have a piece of paper in front of you, I would like you to write an educare acronym. So acronym is when the first letter of the word will create like lines. So EDUCARE with the question mark. Question mark is also included. Let's hope in a few minutes we will be able to share your educare acronym. So I would like you to, for each letter, write a word that is associated either with your current situation or with the teaching and learning or with your future career as a educator. Some of them you can use from here. Why not? But at the same time, I want you to be creative, having a green hat already, the creativity hat, and create an educare acronym for yourself. Mimi and Aliyah, do we know if the participants are allowed to unmute themselves and talk about the acronyms? Natasha?
Yes, they are allowed to unmute themselves and actively participate if they'd like to.
Lovely. So at the moment I've got 7 attendees, and it will be nice if in about 1 more minute precisely, one of you could unmute and share your educare acronym with us. What E stands for in your world of teaching, what D stands for in for you, what U stands for, and so on and so forth. What every letters will be associated for you personally.
And I can recognise some of our current students there, so I'm sure Sham, Sandra, or even Georgina would love to share their acronyms with us. I know Georgina had problems with her sound. And she's got to, excuses, Georgina.
Okay, chat is as good as unmuting, you know.
I would have a go, if that's all right.
Okay, who is that? Sandra, is that correct?
Yeah.
Go for it, Sandra.
So for me, E stands for excellent.
Mm-hmm.
D stands for delivery.
Lovely.
U is for uniqueness.
Uh-huh.
C is for caring, because it's important that we care for each other.
Definitely.
A is for accurate. R is for respect.
Mm-hmm.
And E is for educate.
Lovely. How about the question mark? There is a purpose of it.
What can I do better next time?
Lovely.
Or how do I improve? Yeah.
Very good. You know, I can see that your head is definitely fit the green hat of the creativity. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sandra. Can we please have at least one more person to unmute, if possible, and share the acronym with us?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, can I have a go?
Yeah. Is that Shyam?
Yes.
Okay. Off you go.
Yes.
Over
So
to you.
the first E that I have is endurance, because I've heard you talking about saying that you need a lot of stamina to do this course. So that's the first E that I have, endurance. Then the D that I have is dedication, because I think that's something that is really needed to complete not just this course. When you're doing
Certainly. You
anything,
need to be
yeah.
dedicated for that profession. I can tell you right here, right now.
Yes. So the UI I have is unique, same as Sandra, because when I saw that I was like, yeah, you have to be unique in because teaching is not everyone learns in the same way. So you have to come up with unique ways of delivering the lecture,
Absolutely.
making sure that someone gets the idea. C is for creative. And A is to be aware of your situations and everything that's happening outside. R is for resilience.
Wow, nice. I like it.
And the final one that I have is excellence.
How about the question mark again?
Question mark for me, it was, when I saw that, I was like thinking it was sort of like, always question yourself, because like what you said, there is always room for improvement. So everything that's out there, question yourself, question what you are doing. If you feel like someone is not doing something that's not right for you, question them as well. So yes, questioning is something that's needed to improve yourself.
Absolutely. In regards of uniqueness, I will make a slight comment of that, and it's a positive comment because this is exactly, I might look quite young, but this is actually my 21st year. So I have a full maturity of working with children and young people because I got my qualification as soon as I reached the age I could have. And one of my lecturer when I was doing my BAs said, be unique. And every single time we had the lecturing, her starter was like, what unique thing you've done? What unique method you come across, and so on and so forth. And that uniqueness, I will literally worship in your personality and also as a skill. Find a unique way, find your way as well, how you want to present yourself into your students with obviously appropriate manners and professionalism. So thank you very much. Shall we have one more person? I think we have a time to do one more person.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, is that Georgina?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Off you go. So you've managed to go through the obstacles, yeah?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Go for it.
So E for me is to educate, because that's what I'm there to do. D is for dedication. U is for understanding.
Lovely.
C is for okay, I'll come back to C.
Okay.
A is for awareness. R is for respect.
Lovely.
E is for excellence. And was it C that I missed out?
Yes.
Okay, so C is for creativity. And
Lovely.
The question mark for me will be always leave room for error. So always leave room for error from your students and error from yourself as a teacher, and find ways to make those adjustments.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, it's extremely important to question yourself and also thinking, about a new ways of, is it the best solution? Maybe I should do something different. So yes, absolutely. Is there anyone else who would like to share their educare with us? Going once, going twice. And okay, thank you very much for all of you who presented your educare. For those who didn't have a chance to present it or didn't want to present it, that's absolutely fine. But I will strongly suggest keep the piece of paper that you've written down your acronym safe and secure. And if you've written something in regards of dedication, understanding, creativity, and many, many other words that they are related with the education, please keep it for yourself, even frame it to remind you about why on earth you want to go into the teaching profession, why on earth you want to put yourself in a vulnerable position, because you will be exposed into several vulnerable positions. But at the same time, please worship this acronym as the values that you want to represent personally, as the value that you want to represent as a teacher alongside as an educator. Because remember, you're not going to be only teacher, you will be the educator, you will be the lecturer, you will be the assessor, you will be the mentor, you will be whoever at this certain specific time they will require you to be, as the situation will put you forward. Now, the reason why I ask you to do the acronym is not because Camilla said so and there was no clever way of doing some activities, is because actually it has a great representation in a teaching world. And the representation is Educare acronym. Mr. Geoff Petty, he's still alive. He's a great tourist and he's very approachable through the Society of Education and Training. He invented, or as a matter of fact, put it together the way how the educator could fulfill the teaching and learning cycle. So that was something we were talking about at the beginning. So identify the needs of the learners, plan the delivery of the lesson, deliver and facilitate the learning, then assess the learning, and the final one, evaluate it. And this is his way how the educare as an acronym represents great elements in order to fulfill all of the elements of teaching and learning cycle. So for him, E stands for explanation, D means doing details, U means use of skills, C, check and correct, A stands of aid memoir. I hope I pronounce it correctly because I'm not a French person, but at the same time, you know, all of R stands for review, E stands for evaluation, second E, and question mark means question and queries. And if you think about it, it's a very simple way how to put teaching and learning cycle into practice, because you have to clarify each step what you're teaching. You have to tell them why on earth you're teaching them what you're teaching them. Not again because so-and-so said so, or because the head of department told me so I have to. You just need to give them the further and bigger purpose. You need to clarify what exactly they're going to be achieving at the end of the session or at the end of the full qualification. You have to demonstrate what is expected them. Remember that as a teacher, you will be a role model. So you cannot come to the class, all right, mate, this is not the attitude who are there. We're going to be professionals. We cannot be friends with our students. We can have a good relationship with them. We can speak common language, because if you think about it, we should be on the same level. But at the same time, we shouldn't be showing them the authoritarian position, but at the same time, we cannot be their friends. We cannot befriend them. But at the same time, we need to give them the great example. Even yesterday, not that far ago, like yesterday, I had a situation like, I want this, I want that, I want everything. And you just have to explain them, listen, I want to have £1,000. And as you can see, I'm still here and I don't have it. But this and that and everything. Explanation, 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 demonstrating. Why you want something from me? Leave me alone. Am I shouting at you? No. Then why are you shouting at me? You need to be, you need to demonstrate with your position, with your posture, how you want them to progress, what sort of skills, not only academical one, but also social one, what sort of social skills you want them to develop. You need to prepare them to employability, whether you like it or not. They are the future of our retirement process. Okay, so we are in the beginning of training our health and social care. We are at the beginning of the process to train our nurses. So on that case, the more we train them from the very beginning and we allow them to build their solid base of how to speak with people, the better understanding they will have when they go into the profession. Especially, it's so important with 16 to 18, especially now in a situation when we're dealing with the post-pandemic stresses disorder and many, many other issues that previously our young people haven't been exposed. How many domestic issues we're going to have? I know that it might sound very negative, but at the same time, it will be your role to show them that college is a safe and secure place, that there are people who believe in them and they can achieve if only they can put so much more effort. But if they don't see that you put an effort, they weren't going to put an effort. If they don't see that you're not wearing ID and you're not complying with the code of conduct, they definitely not going to be doing it. So you need to demonstrate the good behavior, but at the same time, if we're talking about practical side, you need to demonstrate what is the best way of doing it. I'm teaching maths, so I'm showing them many, many ways. However, who am I to judge? If they're drawing up flowers to calculate something, I'm not in a position to judge them, but at the same time, they need to show me their method of working out. Practice makes perfect. So using the skills, the more you're using it, the better. How many of you will have a fear of maths, mathophobia? Yet again, I'm telling you right here, right now, every single one of us has a math skills. It's just maths is like a second language. If you're not practicing, you keep forgetting. So we need, and it's been scientifically improved that if you do at least 10 minutes of maths every day, even basic maths, that prevents you from dementia. So ladies and gentlemen, I will strongly encourage you to do maths every single day. Again, not because Camila said so, it's because it has been proven scientifically. If you are happening to deliver a practical vocational site, you will have to demonstrate learners how to, for example, cut a piece of wood. If you are talking about the carpentry course and so on and so forth. Otherwise, you're not going to give them a sewing or you put them in front of sewing machine and say, get on with that. They need to have an exemplar from you. It has to come from you. Check and correct. Again, through the observation of how they carrying with the task, you can identify and spot the mistake. You can target the misunderstanding and then prevent to repeating the same mistake. Aid memoir, the very posh name for very simple things. You need to indicate the key points. So for example, stating the learning objective, providing a worksheet with the key points, with the keywords, displaying keywords on the board, making sure that they have a summary worksheet or making sure that they can summarize what it's supposed to be, what you want them to learn throughout the session. Review, again, it will be systematic revision. It's similar with the maths. The more you review, the more it stays in your head. So the better retention when you're repeating on and on again. And that's the reason, again, why we put our program in a way how it's structured from level 4 to level 5. In regards of evaluation, again, you need to check if the learning take place, but at the same time, you will have to evaluate your own practice. What went well, even better if. And in regards of question and queries, as you said, through sharing your educare, checking and answering individual queries, questioning yourself, was it good enough? If not, what I can improve? Do they learn? If not, how on earth I can check if they learn? And so on and so forth. In conclusion, towards what it had been said, I have a quote of Mr. Nelson Mandela that always put me forward if I have a doubt, because yes, you will have a doubt. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So we're not going to fight, we're going to empower them. And if we empower them, they can empower themselves. So on that note, I have finished my presentation. I know it was kind of like a fast track with a lot of information, but I'm more than happy to answer all of your questions in regards of structure of the course or any other queries you've got. Thank you very much for your attention.
Camilla, thank you so much. That was very, very interesting. And I'm hoping all the attendees here today has got a better understanding and just that taste of what Camilla is capable in delivering. I mean, I was fascinated there. If there's any questions, guys, I know we've gone slightly over the time. If there's any questions, if you want to put it in the chat, if you want to unmute yourself, or in the Q&A. I haven't seen anything come up in the Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any questions, we're going to give you about 5. Hi.
Hi, Mimi. It's Sandra.
Hello,
Just a quick question in regards to student finance, because myself and Georgina, we've been looking into things because we're really keen. But we need, I think, we would need like a reference number in order to apply.
Yeah, so you can apply for advanced learner loan, I believe. Let me, Sandra, I will check with Sonia Boyce in the finance department what kind of codes you need to apply for. And just remember, you need 100 hours, access to 100 hours of teaching as well.
Yeah.
And at the moment, may I just add that at the moment, we are not offering any work placement in our college. So you will have to look for a placement for yourself. But you can also look into local sixth form colleges, depending on your subject specialist right now. May I ask, what is your, Sandra, what is your subject specialist right now? What you're planning to teach?
Well, I'm double-minded at the moment because I am a qualified hairdresser. And I am also finishing up my business and management degree. So
excellent. But you see, those qualifications will give you an option to sort of, if depending on the qualification check and everything. But with those qualifications, you can teach in a business side alongside with the hairdressing if it's up to date. If you have a placement to to do it. But at this stage, as I said, we cannot promise any placement whatsoever, so you will have to look for the placement yourself.
Yes. Sandra, if I can add, if you can start looking if there's opportunities available in your local area. And what we can do, me and Alia, from our side is look at if you can give us an indication of what sort of teaching you're interested in, right? And it's good that you mentioned their hairdressing as well as, obviously you're a final year business student, so that's counts for a lot. In terms of sort of business studies. We can certainly speak to other colleagues within the college, but like Camilla stressed, we can't at this stage promise anything in terms of giving access to hours. If there is hours available, it will most possibly be on a
voluntary basis,
unpaid voluntary basis. So you have to bear that in mind as well. So we'll, from our side, kind of look into see, because I know you guys are very strong candidates for this course anyways, but from our side, look if there is any kind of volunteering hours that we're able to release to you guys. Okay.
There is one question, because we don't want to, the bottom line is we don't want to sell you a fairyland and then you will turn and say, well, you never told us that. And, you will sign for something that perhaps is not feasible for you from the financial side of it or perhaps qualification side of it. So on that case, we want to give you the reality check before you sign up that at this stage, you have to organize your 100 teaching hours, and you will have to find a mentor once you start the course, because it's your responsibility. It's one of your, again, creativity hat and problem solving hats, blue hat, to make sure that you can deal with that before you're signing into it. And obviously English and maths. Someone said, how many days do we need to attend college? At this stage, it's only one day during the week. We are into negotiation which day it's going to be, but it's going to be more likely Tuesday or Thursday, perhaps afternoon. It's only for 3 hours, but that will not be enough. I can reassure you that.
The assessment load is quite heavy on this.
Absolutely.
This
Absolutely.
So even though you just have 3 what we call contact hours with your lecturer, you have to bear in mind that if you teach,
your life will be in the library. Your life will be literally in the library. So prepare the sleeping bags.
Portfolio.
Yes, prepare the sleeping bags and find a great space in between the shelves to make sure that you're staying there and you do your research properly.
Are there any other questions at this stage? Oh, there was a hand up from somebody. Georgina. do you have a question?
Hi, yeah, sorry, the 100 hours, do we have to find the 100 hours before starting the course or as soon as we start the course?
It is desirable to have it before the course. The reason of that is, what if you're going to start the course, you're going to pay the money for the course, and then you struggle with 100 hours.
Right.
So if you start to have the negotiations with the local site or with, I don't know, specific college or center that you can deliver your teaching hours, that will be the starting point. Because as I said, you will start, you might not start the teaching hours straight away. You won't have an observation straight away. However, after the very first month of joining the course, I'm checking with all of my learners, do they have a mentor? Do they have access? Unfortunately, I've been in a situation to withdraw a student due to lack of those two commitments, because it's crucial. You won't get a certificate if you have your teaching hours on a second year. It's not an option, because your first unit is already based on the first observation. One of the tasks, the reflective account, is based on your observation. Although it's the longest unit, it's based on an observation. So you have to have access pretty much the sooner the better.
Okay, thank you.
And remember, Georgina, the course is spread over 2 years, yeah? So it's 100 hours in total, but we always advise students to almost front load the teaching requirement in that first year. So it kind of buys you time to complete the assignments, or just, not have 100 hours at the same time, but to do sort of 50, what's half of 100? Here's my maths, for 10 minutes maths for the day.
Exactly.
50 hours in the first year and 50 hours in the second year, or perhaps doing a little bit more in the first year, so you have time left in the second
precisely.
year.
And when I'm assessing, I'm putting my assessor hat, and that literally leaves the blank. I'm not looking into who submit the assessment. I'm going by the criteria and by the criteria only. Unfortunately, I'm a tough marker. So if you're not meeting a criteria, it will be the referrals. So again, I want to make sure that you're the candidate that shape future of further education. That's my aim as your tutor.
Sorry, Camilla, you touched on something important then. I know we're really pressed for time now. It's a pass and a fail. Am I right? It's
a pass and referral. Pass and referral. However, if there will be 3 referrals, that raises concerns. So, I'm very hot on Harvard referencing, on checking the bibliography. Up to level 4, I can deal with 5 to 6 resources, but when you're stepping into level 5 second year, you have to give me more, and that will be straight away referral. I can tell you right here, right now, because you need to build up the academic skills for further progression as well.
And there's another question. Thanks, Camilla. The role of a mentor. Tips to find a mentor.
Very good question. I would say as soon as you find your practice placement, you starting the observation, you're putting your assessing hat, and you're looking into who do you think will be a good person to shadow? Who do you think will be the good person to sort of being a role model for you, who presents a good skills and who presents values that are also, you can easily also associate yourself with. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a head of school. Head of school not necessarily is the good mentor, I can tell you that. Or person on a higher position. Just because of the title, that doesn't mean they're going to be a great mentor. Respectfully, don't take me wrong, Mimi won't have a time to mentor so many people. Aliyah won't have a time to mentor so many people. As much as she wants to, it's impossible to split her into few pieces and, give it to everyone. But if you will have a former lecturer, if you will see that there is someone in a college that perhaps or in the work placement that you will have, and you get on well and they present a good practice, that will be ideal candidate for your mentor. And if they won't tell you off, what do you want from me? What do you want now? Yeah, if they don't present those attitudes, these are the potential candidates you're looking for.
Thanks for that, Camilla. Rosa, you had a question.
Yes, hi, my name is Rosa. Yeah, hi Camila, this is a question for you. I know you mentioned about heavy assignments. How many assignments in total do we have to do? Because I'm currently working in a school, right? I know more or less because I've been in the field more than 7 years. That is the reason I would like to do this course. But roughly, more or less, how many assignments do we have to do as students? I can't hear you.
Camilla, you're on mute.
Cannot hear.
How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Roughly a lot, but Rosa, as your 10 minutes a day of maths, you have 8 units. For 8 units is roughly 4 heavy tasks of written assignments. So how many of assignments in total you're talking about?
24, 28.
Oh, close enough, you know. So 8 times 4, we're roughly looking about 8 times 4, roughly.
54, 32.
32, okay. So it's going to be around roughly 30 pieces of work.
Okay.
And we're talking about word count. The smallest one is 500 to 700. The biggest one is 1,000 to 1,500, okay? With the referencing, with a lot of in-text referencing into theories and so on and so forth.
And remember, then you'll also be writing some schemes of work as well, because if you'll be teaching alongside that. So it's not just the assessment. There's a lot of things that builds up the portfolio. I mean,
and the lesson plans, you know, at first, I can tell you right here, right now, I went through that, Aliyah went through that. You're going to spend at first hours, literally, on the lesson plans, because at first you will sit like, OMG, where on earth would I start? You will look at the blank paper and you wouldn't know where to start. Of course, we're going to guide you and teach you how to. But at the same time, it's going to be hard at the beginning and it's going to be very time consuming. Later on, it will be like that. But at the beginning, at the first stage, it will be quite tricky, especially that you have to provide that proof. For every single teaching session you deliver, you have to provide a lesson plan. No lesson plans means we're not claiming. No claiming means you're not meeting the criteria. Not meeting criteria, you're not achieving.
Thank you.
Sorry. I know it was a very harsh break in reality, but this is exactly how harsh it is.
I like it. Thank you. Sorry.
I think there's no beating around the bush. This is a hard course to do. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of self-directed learning. You know, you have to put in to get out from this course. Yes, Camilla is an absolutely brilliant lecturer, but it's not up to her. It's up to you to succeed at this course. Guys, I believe our time is really up now.
Yeah.
If there are any other questions, you have my email, you have Aliyah's email, and you have Camilla's email. Please do send us some emails. If there's anything you still need to find out about, we're more than happy to answer those questions. Thank you to all of you who've attended today.
What I will do, I'm going to quickly share the first slide with the attendees so they could take a picture of the emails.
Perfect.
And then that will be, I think, much better. And in case you can contact myself, you know, it seems that you know Mimi and you know Aliyah, so please feel free to contact us at some point.
And you know, it takes very long to respond to emails. So don't pick me. There we go. On the screen now, email addresses for myself, Aliyah, and for Camilla.
Yeah.
Guys,
and if you are in the college, feel free to speak with me as well around. I'm hardly ever in my room. That's why I never advertise it. But if you spot me on a corridor, little lady who looks like a girl, that's me.
I won't say that's quite true, Camilla, but there we go. Guys, thank you so much. We've come to the end of our session. We hope to see some of you in college. Take care and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you very much for all of you. Thank you, Mimi and Aliyah as well.